Welcome to Yoga by Janelle. Today's class is a chair balance class. This is an adaptive type yoga, and this balance class is designed for anyone who wants to work on your balance, but you may need the support of a chair. You want to have a sturdy chair. You want to make sure your chair is sitting on your mat. Make sure you have a nice, firm, flat mat. I know sometimes I use a more cushy mat to support my knees, but when you're working on balance, you don't want to use that. Make sure your surface is safe and flat. So this is a little bit higher level balance with chair. This one you're going to be doing some more poses with standing on one leg. So if you're not sure about this one, please watch it all the way through. You are always welcome to use your chair as necessary. So just because you have it doesn't mean you have to use it. If you are able to do most of these without the chair, but just using the chair as a support, that's great. If you need to use the chair, that's great. I'll just show you a couple of different directions that you can do this. You can always do one arm holding the chair and following along with the class, or you can always simply just turn so that you always have access to the chair with both hands. So I'll show you both ways throughout the class, but the first thing I want you to do is I invite you to come to your mat with your chair, and we're going to simply just go into our breath. We're going to take a few deep breaths in through your nose and exhale it out. Inhale and exhale. I want you to go ahead and drop those arms down and back. Try to draw those abdominal muscles in towards your spine and just focus on your breath. Allow your mind to just relax and just kind of clear a lot of those thoughts that you're thinking. Just kind of let those thoughts go over right now. Just focus on your breath. And exhale again. And we're going to go ahead, if you close your eyes, you may go ahead and open those. And I want to invite you to get started with our practice today. So you're going to firmly root those feet down into your mat. If you want to spread your toes a little bit, sometimes that'll help with your balance. We're going to simply go back to our breath, and we're going to lift those arms up and exhale down. When lifting those arms up, try to keep those shoulders down away from your ears. You don't want to tense up anything if you can help it. You're going to inhale it up again and exhale it down. On the next inhale, we're going to lift those arms out to the side. You're going to inhale it up and exhale it down. You may have to step away from your chair for this one, just a little bit. Or you can always hold on to your chair with one arm and exhale it down. Again, another modification is to turn to your side, and you can do one arm at a time and exhaling it down, or you can do both arms, inhaling it up and exhaling it down. And we're going to go ahead and go to one more arm. Okay, you're going to inhale it out and exhaling it in. Inhale and exhaling it out. Back in, inhaling it out, and exhale it back in. A couple more, and exhale. And we're going to bring those down. On this next one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on lifting those feet, or we're going to lift up onto our toes. You can start with no hands at all, and pushing it down. You can use your chair, of course, with one hand, and back down. And if necessary, you can always turn using both hands on the back of the chair. Lifting up and down. I'm going to do two more of those. And up again, bringing it back down. This next one we're going to work on, you're going to just basically act like we're marching. You're going to lift that leg up, dropping it down. Of course, you can hold onto your chair, and we're lifting up our left leg first, if you're facing me. We're going to go ahead and increase this with a little bit more challenge. As you're lifting whatever leg that you're currently lifting, we're going to lift the opposite arm. Inhaling up and exhaling it down. Inhaling it up and exhaling it down. For more of the balance challenge, we can do both arms together. And exhaling it down. Listen to your body. Know your limitations. Inhaling it up. Exhaling it down. We're going to go to the opposite leg. If you're holding both hands on the chair, you're going to just hold on with both hands while you're lifting that leg up and down. You can go return back to using your arms, whether you're doing two arms, or if you're going to do one arm, you're going to do the opposite arm and leg. One more time. And now we're going to step back into a high lunge. You don't have to go into a deep lunge. If you're going to hold on to your chair, you're going to just simply step a few feet back, and we're going to put a somewhat 90-degree angle in that front foot, and then you're going to come back forward. So we're stepping back, and your heel on the back foot should be kind of floating, pushing back towards the back of the room. We're going to step back forward. Again, we're not going to do a deep lunge. If you want to challenge this, you can challenge this by dropping those arms, stepping back. You can use one arm on your chair. And to get the most challenge, we're going to go ahead and bring those arms up on your step back. And we're going to exhale those arms back down. Inhale those arms up. Exhaling it down. We're just tapping that toe down. And inhaling it up one more time. Tapping that toe down. We're going to go back and we're going to switch legs. I am working on my right leg at this point if you're facing me. So I'm going to start with my hand on the chair. Just going to step back. Again, slight 90-degree angle. Make sure your knee is not going all the way over your toe. Stepping it back up. I'm going to step back. You want to increase that challenge. I'm going to step back. Keep holding onto your chair. And we're going to go ahead. I'm going to turn. You can see this from the side. I'm holding onto my chair again. Coming back up. Add those arms up and back. Let's do two more. And one more. All right. We're going to go ahead and you can scoot your chair up just a little bit. Give your space a little bit more space. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go into our tree pose. In tree, you're going to get that, we're going to root our left leg firmly down on the floor. You're going to hold on to your chair. You can have your foot so that the toe is directly on the ground. You can bring your foot above the ankle and below your knee. And if you're very flexible, you can go ahead and bring that foot into your groin, just making sure that your toes are not pressing into your knee. You can hold this here in this position. You can bring those arms up to your chest. And if this feels comfortable for you, you can grow those branches out, just like tree branches, and hold it. You can also keep one arm on the chair and extend the other arm. I'm going to take two more breaths here. And we're going to bring that foot down. We're going to switch to the other side. Now, if you're not wanting to do a whole lot of twists and turns, we're just going to turn face the back of your chair, and we'll do the same thing. I'm going to bring that foot to the desired place. You may notice that you may not have the same flexibility on both sides. And I'm not going up into my groove with my right leg. I am still working on that leg. So it's totally okay if you are not even on both sides. Okay, we're going to go ahead. If you're able to release those hands, bring those hands to your heart center. And you also may just keep your hand on your chair. And if you're feeling comfortable with this, we're going to go ahead and grow those branches all the way up and up. Taking a few breaths. Holding steady. And bring those arms back down. Putting that foot down onto the ground. We're going to try to take on our warrior three. We're going to take a few steps back, kind of having those hands on the chair. And we're going to just kind of lift up. I got to push my chair up. We're going to go into our warrior three. You're just going to lift that leg up, keeping those hips squared off. So it should be facing slightly down. Now, if you're not able to lift that leg up, you can simply just float that leg the best that you can. If you're using your chair, you're going to keep your hands on your chair. You can always do this pose, holding one arm on a chair and extending the same arm with the leg that's extended out. Or whichever side that you're on. Okay, we're going to switch. We're going to do the opposite leg. Lifting your leg to what's comfortable for you, squaring those hips off. You want your toes facing down if you can. Again, if you are not able to lift that leg as far, just float that leg to what you can do it and hold it there. Taking a few deep breaths. And dropping that foot down. Again, you can bring that leg out. Depending on what side of the chair you're on, you may not want to let go. But if you can always bring both arms forward. This is your warrior three. And release it. Okay, if you need to, we're going to bring your chair, slowly slide it back. And I'm kind of walking mine back. And I'm going to walk around, holding on to my chair, to the other side of the chair. Once I get around to this other side, I'm going to go into what is known as a triangle pose. Let me push my chair back a little bit so I can make sure you all are getting a good view of what I'm doing. In triangle, I'm going to take a couple steps out, away from the chair. I'm going to turn my left leg at this point for you all. Turn my left leg so that it is facing the chair and slightly, a little bit, toes are going to be a little bit underneath of the front of the chair. And I'm going to take my hand, open it up. I'm pushing weight into my left hip, leaning onto this chair here. You can keep a slight bend in your front leg if you need. You're going to kind of open up your pelvis so that you're facing forward and straighten that arm out. We're just going to hold it. We're going to breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. You can look forward, you can look down at your arm, and you can also look upward, depending on if you have any issues with your neck. If you have neck issues, just keep your head facing down. So from triangle, we're going to transition into what is called half moon. Bring your foot back, put a bend in that leg. We're going to bring this opposite arm onto the top of the chair. Move your arm that's sitting in the seat of your chair a little bit further forward. We're going to lean into this and just lift the back leg up, which for me is my left leg. And then you can hold it here. If you want to challenge yourself, you can bring your hand to your hip. And if you want more of a challenge, you can lift that arm up, which is getting challenging now for me, and I'm holding onto the chair. And you can gaze upward, which is even more of a challenge. Taking a few breaths, finding your position. And we're going to drop that back foot down, bending that front leg. And we're going to come back up. We're going to switch and do the opposite side. So again, this time, you're going to turn that toe. You want it slightly underneath of the seat of the chair. You may want a little bend in that knee, sitting your weight into the back hip. Bring that palm forward. Again, weight's going to be in that back hip, even if your front knee is bent. And you can find the angle that best works for you. Extending that arm up. You can gaze upward, you can gaze forward, and gaze down at your hand. Taking a few breaths. I'm going to bring that arm down to the top of the chair. Scoop that foot back just a little bit. And we're going to put a bend in it, lifting that leg out. You want your pelvis facing the back of the room or the front of the room, whichever way you're standing. You can release that arm if you're able, putting it on your hip. And extending it if that's possible for you to do. Taking a few breaths here. And bringing that arm down, dropping that foot, bending that front leg. And from here, we're going to go ahead. We have one more balance pose to do, and we're going to go back around. Next pose that we're going to go into is called Dancer. So what you're going to do is hold onto your chair, take a couple steps back out to the side. You want to turn to face the front of your chair. You're going to lift this is my left leg, you're going to lift your leg up, grabbing inside of that foot. If this is where you are for this pose, stay there. This can be quite challenging. This is probably the most challenging one we're doing today. You're going to hinge at your hip, folding forward, and lifting that leg up, and looking upward. And we're holding it. Taking a few breaths. If you can always extend that arm out. And release. We're going to switch to the other side. Firmly plant that foot down. We're going to lift up my right leg at this point, lifting up that foot. Again, if this is your position, this is where you stay. You're going to bend forward, lifting that back leg up. Use the chair to straighten that arm out. Hold it. 2 more breaths. And release it. And we're going to I'm going to turn my chair around. I want you to walk around so that you can sit in your chair. Okay. I'm going to take a seat. All right, who's going to take a seat? Sit on the edge of your chair so that your feet are on the floor. You're going to inhale it in and exhale it out. Inhale it in again. Exhale it out. Inhale in one more time. And exhale it out. And that is our chair balance for today. Thank you all so much for joining this class. If you have enjoyed this class, please go ahead, like and subscribe to this channel. Share this with your friends and families. And of course, hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload new classes. So from this point on, you all, find that balance you need to get you through the day. And I want you all to have such a wonderful day.